Welcome back to another video, and today I'm bringing you another full series review. But this time it's more of a well-known series, very popular, and a series that ranks highly in my standards and all that, and in yours. If you can't read the title of this video, or if you're not bothering to look, I am bringing you a full series review of No Game, No Life. And I will say, I enjoyed this series a whole lot, and I'm enjoying the light novel. Volume 2 is already out of the light novel, and you can find them on Amazon. And there's even a manga to this, but the manga's not too far. So before I get into anything else, be sure to follow the links in the description. It'll take you to the anime, so if you haven't seen it yourself and you're very curious about it, go check it out. And follow me on Twitter, because then you can find out what I've been doing, when I'm going to post a video, if I'm going to some of my personal opinions and etc. Just, yeah, follow me on Twitter. And, as always, read the descriptions. It always helps out. So, when I start talking about this, No Game, No Life. When I first started this series, and this was several months ago, but I remember a lot of it clearly, and that's because I've rewatched it 3 or 4 times because of how much I love this series. And before I say anything else, this series isn't for everyone. If you don't like very vibrant or different character designs, or you don't like the whole gamer or the super intelligent main characters, or the, like, you go, what the fuck is going on, or the fan service, then this series isn't for you. The fan service isn't always present, but there are moments and everything. But this series, just the art style and the character design alone can make or break if you're gonna watch it. I'll tell you why in a moment. But just sit through and listen to this because, hey, it won't hurt anything. Just grab some popcorn, sit down, relax, and bada bing. Just listen to my dreary voice go on and on and on and on. My hands are gone, my hands are back. Alright. So, No Game, No Life. I didn't know how to feel about it when I first started this series because we have 2 shut-in people, our main characters, Sora and Shiro. Sora, an 18-year-old shut-in virgin and all that, and he's super fucking intelligent. He can read people, and he and his sister, Sora, who's like a 9 or 10-year-old and everything. She is super intelligent, but they don't go to school. They're socially awkward. They just pretty much play games all day. And they're our main characters. So, pretty much, they're super intelligent. Like, their IQ would be really high. Because Sora can read people and actually, like, deduce a lot of things and think of ultimate moves. He understands people to a scary length, while his sister Sora has pretty much the mind of a computer almost, because she can calculate hundreds of strategies in mere seconds, from chess to just even math equations and all that. She is super intelligent, and so she's pretty much the calculator, and his brother or her brother can calculate people combined, and they're one terrifying force. And pretty much they are an urban legend on the internet, pretty much because I know I've said pretty much a lot. Pretty much. But they're an urban legend on the internet because their character names, that whenever they play a game, is always blank. So they beat people. They themselves are just 2 people, but they can play up to a team of 4 by using all 4 limbs and everything. But most of the time they just handle 2 accounts at the same time. So pretty much they're an urban legend on the internet. And one day, after they beat a tournament and they've been up for several days, they get an email, and this email, it wasn't from anyone that they've known, because they don't have any friends. They stay inside and all that, unless to go get groceries and etc. But yeah, they get an email, and it turns out it's like an invitation to a game of chess. So Shiro starts playing the chess, and she nearly loses, which is almost unheard of, because blank is undefeated except to each other. They have in the hundreds of thousands of losses to each other, Well, they've never lost to anyone else. They're always, like, they always beat every game they're playing unless it's to each other. So they get a game invite, and Shiro almost loses, so Sora calms her down because she was starting to freak out, and she ends up beating this one, and turns out she played a game against Tet, the god of games in the world of Discord. He brings them there because he is angry. He doesn't want to leave it hanging because he got beat. He's never been beaten before, and he brings them to their world, his world, where they seem like they truly belong because it's a world of games, from territory to money to anything you can imagine. It's settled by games. You have conflicts with someone, you settle it by game. You want to purchase that house, I'm guessing you set it by game sometimes. You can pretty much make a bet, and you have to have equal values. You have to have fun, and you can't cheat, and etc. But there are ways around some of these rules and all that. So they come to the world of Discord, where Tet brings them and all that, and they have a bunch of technology with them, and they end up wandering. They come, and they're in the last human territory, Elkia, where there's 16 races in this world of Discord. 16 where Elkia, or the human race, is the lowest. It's all based on magic power. And the first, I believe, is the old gods and everything. And then there's elves and werebeasts, cat girls. And we follow our main character's adventure through becoming. They get set goals. They want to beat. They want to conquer. They want to beat. They want to beat. They want to beat. They want to get. They want to reign supreme pretty much in this world, and they get adjusted. They meet Stephanie Doyle, who becomes just Steph later on because that's their nickname for her, just Steph. And they meet her. She's the princess of Elkia, and she's in the middle of a tournament to decide who is gonna be the new ruler and all that, because Elkia is only one city as a territory. So pretty much they tell her she's cheating, and they get introduced. We get introduced to them. They bond a little bit, and Sora, funnily, beats her in a game, and he tells her to fall in love with him, and she does, and there's funny moments with that. And this series has a lot of funny moments. It really does, but it'll always turn you off if you can't stand the character designs, because the characters are outlined in red lines instead of the classic black lines, and the color palette is a lot brighter for this, so colors are like very, 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 very bright in this and all that. And it's more beautiful this way, in my personal opinion. But it's really, really, really cool to see this whole color palette, the red outline for the characters, and how everything looks in that kind of design. And once we get introduced to Steph, we get introduced to an elf lady and this other chick she was going against. We don't get introduced to the elf right away and everything, but Sora and Shiro go against the chick who beat Steph and everything. I think her name's like Remy, and they beat her. So, well, they go against her to decide who's king, the ruler and all that. They actually go against her and declare she's cheating, but they're gonna fight her on fair grounds. And they have this gigantic moving chess game where it's tactical strategies, and you start to see some more of the depths of Sora and Shiro's immense of knowledge. These characters are smart. There's no absolutely denying it. They're super, super, super smart. And they beat her. They become the king and queen of Elkia, and of the only capital they have left, because everywhere else had been taken over by other countries when the former king had gamed and auctioned them off and everything. I mean, levied them off and boom, bada boom, bada boom, and gave them pretty much every time he lost. So pretty much they lose all their territory, and then they start researching and researching and researching. They get the they pretty much, Shiro reads the book on the language of Elkia, and as soon as she's done, she's gotten the entire thing down so she can read and write, and Sora takes a little while. So they can pretty much they can pretty much speak a lot of languages and all that. And now that they've understood that there's 16 races in this game of Discord, they start to notice signs. Signs that, since there's 16 races, and there's like weird things in the background, like giant chess pieces, they understand that the 16 races each have a race piece and all that, where if they trade that, it contains all the rights to a species and all that. So if you take that, then the people aren't technically people anymore. They're things you can just kill and all that, and you can do whatever you want with them. And each race has one, but no one's ever wagered them. So Sora and Shiro get to thinking, and that the race pieces, there's 16 of them. 16 makes a game of chess. And once you collect all 16, you can face Tet and become the one true god if you beat him. That's how Tet beat the other gods and everything. He faced them in games and all that, and he beat them, and he created this world, so there was no more war and conflict and all that. Which I do like this whole concept of everything is settled by games. And there's no conflict, you can't kill each other, you can't really cheat without magic and all that. And I like the character design, so the series was overall good. And that was only for first few episodes. Later on, they get the idea of, they go to the library, which had been taken over by a flugel and everything, an angelic race, and I think it's like number 4 or number 8 on the list and everything of the 16 races. And she is upset, and her name is Jibril. And she is obsessed with knowledge. So when Sora and Shiro levy that they can supply thousands of works of knowledge to her, they face a game where pretty much you say a word and it'll appear and everything, but you have to continue off like the last word they said or something, or the last letter. And they do that, and you have some fan service moments with that fight, but it just gets more and more and more intense as it goes on, because they start taking away, they chip away at things every now and then, so Jibril doesn't notice. They say words she doesn't notice, and then some she does, but like they take away the atmosphere, they take away the crust, the mantle, and the core, and etc. No, wait, they don't take away the core, but you get what I'm saying. They subtly take things away that she doesn't understand yet, and then that's how they beat her, because of everything they've done, and then they even write words and all that to get her so she ends up losing. They beat a flugel who, pretty much, everyone looks down on the lower races and all that, and since humans were the last one, they always look down on them, so Jibril was definitely underestimating them, and when she got beaten, she swore her loyalty to Sora and Shiro, because they were the true masters she could serve, according to her. And after that, you see Avantheim, which is the homeland of the flugel, and Jibril is the youngest and most powerful of them, and she's on like their council and all that, and so that's right there. Pretty much they're almost allied, and thinking they're almost allied with them, pretty much. Sora and Shiro didn't get the race piece, so they don't have actual control over the race, so they don't have them underneath them, but you get what I'm saying. They're still kind of allied since Jibril is with them. Then, after they get the library, they start researching more of the Eastern Federation, which is the Werebeast country. The previous king of Elkia had gambled off so many of the land and all that to there, because the game, basically you play the game, and if you lose, you're forced to get your memories erased and all that, and actually no, that's one of the requirements, and you always have to abide by those. So they got them, every time you lose, you get your memories erased, and the king played them like 6 or 7 times, gambling off bits and pieces of land. So pretty much that's what happens whenever you fight the Werebeasts and are unable to beat them. Elven Garden tried them once and lost and etc. But no one's figured out how to beat the Werebeast Federation until Sora and Shiro, they discover the previous king, the previous king and everything, his diary and all that about the games. They let him keep his memories until he was around the last time, but he was sworn to secrecy until the day he died. But after he died, he left this for people to find out. And when Sora and Shiro read this, it was one of the missing pieces that it needed. So they go and challenge the Eastern Federation, and it's a bunch of animal girls, and I will say, goddamn, I love this. You have Izuna, the representative, and then Miko, who is the actual leader, and they're both fox girls and all that, and Miko is terrifying when she uses the special rare ability that some Werebeasts have, Blood Destruction. I'll get to that in a few moments. But, so we have a game, pretty much. This is what they levy. Sora and Shiro. Alright, I'm going to backtrack a few seconds. When they challenge them and everything, the Werebeasts were supposed to be able to mind read, but it's cold reading and everything. where they can just detect if someone is lying or not, and they can make assumptions and etc. But it seems like they're mind reading based on body heat and their cold reading and all that. Then they knew about how they're gonna play the game and all that. So what happens is Sora and Shiro levy the race piece, which is something no one has ever done. They levy the race piece, and it pisses off their everything. But there is badass moments when they gave their speech, when they fought against the Jibril, and they bet their race piece. Those were some 3 badass moments in this series, especially because then you see, like, they go into a long speech and everything of how they figured this out, or you see the vast sea of knowledge they have and the strategies and everything they've thought up to hundreds and hundreds of minutes from now and everything. That it's terrifying sometimes, because you're like, holy shit, these guys are fucking smart as hell. So then pretty much they use their own race speech, which was no one's surprise, but they did it so the Werebeast wouldn't back down, because this is immense and all that, and they kind of forced them into a corner. And when you force an animal into a corner, they will retaliate. So that's what they did. They invited them into the game and all that, and it's a video game. The Werebeast developed video games, and since that technology is pretty much not common in this place and all that, it's understandable that people would lose, since they don't know the rules as well. But before anything else happens, before they actually play the game, it's a couple days before, Sora and Shiro recruit the help of Remy and Fee, the black-haired chick and the elf who had fought against Steph in the tournament to become the ruler and eventually lost to Sora and Shiro. They recruit them to help him cheat and win this game. So what they have to do is Fee is going to watch it with magic, so they'll have to be forced into a further corner, so they can't use their Werebeast abilities and cheats like they could in a normal match. Then they have Jibril, Steph, Sora, and Shiro. All 4 of them play the game against Izuna, and it's pretty much a love game where you can shoot love at an NPC and get love points and all that. But if you shoot someone else, they love you temporarily, but they're on your side and everything. So it's 4 against 1. But Izuna is a Werebeast, so she has the advantage since she has enhanced physical abilities. Like, she's a lot faster, stronger, and when she uses Blood Destruction, a rare trait among Werebeasts, it gives them further, like, maximum enhanced, like, abilities, physical abilities, at the cost that it's a toll on their body. Sora and Shiro, eventually Jibril and Sora, and Jibril, Shiro, and Steph are on Izuna's team, and it's only Sora, but Shiro had left a little message and everything, little, like, gigantic, well, it's not very little, it's a gigantic whole strategy and all that, and they had this whole thing planned out. What Sora did was, when Shiro got shot, she wasn't exactly shot. She was just acting like she was on Izuna's team, and she didn't expect Sora to come running straight at her with the gun and all that, because she would just fire to the sides, because that's what most likely Sora would do. When he came at her, he got her back on his team, and then he took on Izuna, who was coming up, and when they fired that up, it dodged, and they almost hit Izuna. When she landed and got both of them, Steph had fired and hit Izuna, because they had cast a magic spell onto Steph, who pretty much she would go to a certain spot being carried by an NPC, and fire after she had read the instructions on the ground. She would fire straight ahead and hit Izuna, but she would forget anything she was told. She would just do it subconsciously, and when she did and everything, they had won the game because of Steph succeeding in that. So that's how they won, and the Werebeast became officially part of the Elkia territory. They got all their continent back. The humans did. So they got their continent back and everything, while the Werebeast Federation got to self-rule, because Miko met with the Sora and Shiro and Steph, and she was fucking terrifying because she went Blood Destruction and she had, like, her fingers right on his neck and everything. And they decided to settle this by a simple coin toss, where if they lose, then everything, if they lose, the Eastern Federation could take over Elkia and can have the race piece. And then if they win, they can have Federation or like etc. etc. They had a bunch of double terms where if she won, the rights were guaranteed of self-ruling, and if they won, they would have all the territory to them and all that. So he literally moves a tile and it lands sideways, and he convinces her that they both won. So the Werebeasts have the right to self-rule while they're still under the command of the Elkia, and it becomes the Elkia Federation. So currently they have 2 races underneath them, Sora and Shiro. Well, 3. Elkia, the Werebeast, and then technically the Flugel, since Jibril is on the council and with them. And at the very end of the season and everything, episode 12, Miko is a shrine priestess, and she summons an old god so Sora and Shiro can fight against him because that's what they requested. And that's where they leave it off. Personally, the way they've left it off and the success that the series has gone through, the season 2 is very likely. Most likely they want to get the light novels out a couple so you can be caught up at least with the events that happened in season 1. And then you can have, because there's 7 volumes so far to the light novel, and only 2 have been out. But a season 2 is likely, maybe in the next year or 2. I'm really hoping, because No Game No Life, I enjoyed the series a lot more than I thought I would ever. With the characters, the character design, with the red lines, to the backgrounds, to just even the brighter color palette, and just our super intelligent characters. I enjoy this so much. Seriously, I highly recommend this series. It's definitely very good, but everyone has their own likes and dislikes. There's nothing you can do about that. Just give it a chance, give it a couple. The first episode was it was good and everything, but it continues to get better and better throughout the series. And once you reach episode 12, you're like, it's over? Please, some more. Can I have some more? No Game No Life. It's a series definitely worth watching, but you might get turned off by the character design, the landscapes, the color palette, just even the whole concept of them being super intelligent, but their quirks are they're socially awkward, they're game addicts, and they're shut-ins and all that. But they're super intelligent and badass at times, especially with the speech, if you've gotten that far. It was worth watching it, and I'm definitely going to rewatch it even more and more because I love this series so much. And I've heard there's a dub out now, but they haven't released the DVDs yet. So, if you haven't already, go check out this series because I recommend it. No Game No Life is definitely a good series. I'm enjoying the light novel, and I will read the manga, and I'm gonna hope there's a season 2 because Sora and Shiro, some of my favorite characters of all time because of their intellect and just the way the series presents characters and has running gags and then even the small moments of fan service and fun time. This series was pretty damn good. The pacing, it did pretty well in my opinion. The amount of content, well, it was 12 episodes. You'll be bound to lose out on stuff from the light novels and etc. But as is, I liked it a lot. There were flaws and all that, like the fan service scene with Loli Shiro. I wasn't a big fan of that and all that, but there were flaws. Every anime has it, but still, I enjoyed it a lot. So, if you like this review or full series review, go give the series a chance if you haven't already, and be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe for more reviews, reactions, vlogs, talks, the usual. This is Outowix Nation here, my lovely community, citizens, and civilians. Be sure to follow the links in the description. Follow me on Twitter, and be sure to follow and watch the anime. I enjoyed it a lot, and you might too. Tell me your thoughts in the description. What did you think about No Game No Life? Do you want a season 2 right away or not? This is Outowix Nation here, and I'll see you guys in the next review. So have a good day, watch lots of anime, read lots of manga, and bye-bye, guys.